You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 175 of the Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell, and I am joined by producer Chris Guffey, and back from the dead, Chris. We have this guy.
Whoa, buddy!
He's been gone for a while. It's Dakota Davis.
Today's episode features the three of us. We're going to be talking majorly about Henry County. This is going to be a very local focused episode. And then we're also going to be doing, of course, a COVID-19 update. There's a lot of interesting things that are going around on social media right now about COVID-19, and we want to talk about it because, we are media, and the media only talks about coronavirus right now. So
that's all we're trained to do.
Mm-hmm. That's all the deep state media meetings that we're a part of, the Illuminati meetings where we talk to Molech. They just say the problem is that's it.
There's Zoom meetings, and I don't normally participate because they care about the distancing, and I just skip out on them. I figured that's what Chase has been doing on Wednesday nights. So this show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you will always learn something new.
That's right. Before we get too far into this, patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty. That is where you can go to support the show. The tiers start at $5 a month, and they go pretty high. Not gonna lie. We went out there. We put ourselves out there. It's really paid off for us. We have a core group of people that help support the show.
Fantastic
bigly.
People.
Those are the people that pay the bills for the studio, and they pay to pay for the rent. They pay to keep the lights on. They pay so that we can have air conditioning.
This is the last hot day of the year, but it's air conditioned in here today.
That's right. It's nice. We have a Nest thermostat thanks to the Patreon supporters.
Absolutely.
It's those people are what make the world turn. And if you pay $50 or more a month, then you get a shout out at the front of every episode. Those folks are Chris Lamb, Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, and Mr. Anthony Meyer. Chris Lamb is more than $50 a month. We should point that out because he's a great guy.
That's awesome.
And you should vote for him for school board.
He's running for the Newcastle Henry County Community School Board. John Phillips, of course, is our guy over at the Buick GMC dealer, Andy Moore. And Christy Avery is patron supporter to the Stars. I got to hang out with Christy last weekend. I was up in her neck of the woods in northeastern Indiana, and she and her little chihuahua came and hung out with us. Awesome. Good times.
Did he say something about Taco Bell?
Quiero Taco Bell.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what was said. So I don't understand dog speak.
He might be boycotting Taco Bell with the rest of us since they took away our potatoes.
The Mexican pizza, when it went away, that was the last.
It's not gone yet.
The announcement of the Mexican pizza being gone that's where it actually struck home.
I had to go get one Sunday because it's one of my favorite items. I love those.
I'm watching the chat.
I just want you guys to know Zach is doing the work.
It knows where we're at,
yep.
And he's posting on behalf of Guffey, who's not ready yet.
I'm ready. I'm just waiting on you guys
fantastic.
to announce it.
Yeah, we also have, as Zach is posting in the chat, we have the T-Chip stores. That's where you can get Boss Hog of Liberty merchandise. We have 3 different T-shirts. One of them is very basic. It's the cheap one. It's BHO1. And then we also have BHO2 that Jeremiah hates. He hates that shirt. So if you just want to grind Jeremiah's gears, that's the one you got to buy. And we also have the premium shirt, which has our logo on the front and then the slogan on the back. And we also have masks. We have masks and bandoliers, and that have our logo on them. And that is BHOL4. But then we also have mugs because Jeremiah said we need mugs.
We did have a request. We had a request for mugs from Rich Turvey.
Yeah, and then he didn't buy one.
Well, I mean, we have to remind him. And then we did get one for the tumblers as well. And I think I would like a tumbler. So if we can find a way to get the tumblers.
The tumblers is Audrey's game.
No.
It's true.
I don't want one of these daisy printed glitter bombed ones. I want
dainty daisy, baby.
She can put
I want
wood grain, make it look like it's stained wood, and then stick a Boss Hog of Liberty logo right over the wood.
Maybe we need to have her set up a storefront so that our folks can.
She's already got a storefront. That's what I'm
can
telling
click
you.
one click to have it.
That would be $30.
Is there a graphic?
For a vacuum sealed stainless steel?
All I'm going to say is my fiance was thrilled with her cup.
Yeah.
And the coworkers that she works with want to buy one and is like, oh my gosh, is that the one I saw? And I was like, I don't know. Here it is. It's Dainty Daisy. Go there.
I just think Audrey needs a special. She needs to have the Dainty Daisy Boss Hog special. And if people want to buy the mug, they can go there. Kyle Hupwood's in the chat here, and he wants to know where he can get a shirt. Where does he get a shirt? It depends upon the design.
Listen, Kyle, just scroll up. Scroll up in your comments section.
Oh, I think that was an okay boomer to Kyle. That's rough. That's rough. Kyle's just over 30. You can't treat him like that.
tchip.com/BHOL1, BHOL2, BHOL3, 4, or BHOL mug.
So here's the thing. Taco Bell has ruined me. Very disappointing. Very disappointing that they pulled the one thing I cared about. And first, it's I feel bad now. It's kind of like when somebody doesn't say something. First they came for the cheesy potatoes, and I didn't say anything, Dakota. And then they came for the Mexican pizzas, and that affected me.
Well, see,
I'm speaking, but I don't know if there's anybody left to speak for me because I didn't speak when the cheesy potatoes went away.
Here's my standard order at Taco Bell. Okay, I get a crispy, spicy potato soft taco, Mexican pizza, and a bean burrito grilled.
Now, if people are Patreon members, they know that this caused headaches.
Does it? But yeah, it wasn't just the Taco Bell. Lee's Chicken, Burger King, and Hardee's. So I'm a fast food junkie. I absolutely love it. I love fast food. Just not good for you. Sometimes I'd have it 3 times a day, Jeremiah. It's bad.
And then, would you like? I know there's show notes, but we're gonna follow this down the rabbit hole for a minute. So let's talk about your bad behavior.
Mm-hmm. This
so
was
you would have 3
years ago.
You would have 3 meals of Taco Bell.
No,
or whatever fast food.
Yeah, fast food.
And then were you married to Audrey at the time, or is this?
No, this is pre-Audrey.
Were you living with your parents at the time?
No,
So this is just living on your own.
Yeah,
somewhere north of Q.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought, because I thought we were going to go down the line of you're eating 3 meals a day in fast food and then going back home and eating Audrey's meal.
No.
Or even worse, throwing it in the trash.
After I got married, then the most it would be 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Unless Audrey and I both went out, decided to go out. There were probably a few 3 days during that time too. It's also why I weighed 200 pounds in January 2018.
There we go.
I can't say much. I'm the same way. If I don't go to Pages, then
it's just too good, too easy, too cheap.
Exactly. As a single guy, like I go Taco Bell, right? I can go and I get 2 beefy burritos. They're $1 a piece.
That's
$2.
That's a new item.
Yeah, new item. It's really good. You should try it. And then I'm like, okay. And then I add extra creamy jalapeno. So now it's $2.60, and I go, cool. That's my meal. I'm full. What now?
But listen, Taco Bell took away 2 of my regular items. And I'm still not over Taco Bell taking away the beefy crunch burrito that had the flaming hot Fritos in it. I have real beef with them about that. That really upsets me. And then they brought it back for a limited time only.
Time out. You've changed your ways.
And then just teased us.
I think if we invite Steve Horwitz back on and he accepts the invitation, we're going to find out that the market is working here. You used to be a Taco Bell customer. The products that you would buy from Taco Bell, you're no longer buying. So now the market says, well, hell, Dakota's not buying them anymore. We don't need them. So they're removing the items that you would get at Taco Bell.
I never stopped buying the beefy crunch
You're
burritos.
still going to Taco Bell.
No, not right now. I'm talking about the beefy crunch burrito.
Well, I'm saying that you stopped going.
And then whenever they brought it back for a limited time, I went there and I bought so many of those burritos because I was like, the market will speak. There's a Beefy Crunch Movement Facebook page, and it's got like 17,000 followers, and everyone was on there, and they're like, go to your Taco Bell, buy a dozen burritos because they're $1 a piece. Just spend the 12, and just keep doing it. So that Taco Bell's like, look how many people are buying these burritos. We can't just get rid of these again. But they did. And it was only there for 6 weeks. Not even 2 months.
That volcano sauce.
Are you okay?
I'm still burns me. That one burned.
There's veins popping on your head over burritos, buddy.
I love those things.
I've never seen you get this upset.
And I've tried to make them at home because people say that if you just buy one of the Fritos burritos, but then you take them home and you put Flamin' Hot Cheetos in them, it tastes the same, but it doesn't taste the same because the Fritos burritos don't have the rice in them.
Bad rice for like 30 cents.
It's very upsetting.
Okay. So what are we supposed to be talking
We should
about?
get Steve Horwitz back on. We were talking about Henry County, all local stuff,
All them happenings.
and whether or not we're upset with the Henry County Taco Bell or not.
I think there's 2 Taco Bells in Henry County.
You know what? I will say Taco Bell in Newcastle, they still have the chili cheese burritos.
On South Memorial Drive.
And on South Memorial Drive, they still have the chili cheese burritos. You can get those grilled. They're very good too. So
Taco
But
Bell talk.
Extremely emotional. Extremely emotional about the Taco Bell.
I just love fast food. I'm a connoisseur.
I had no idea.
It's almost embarrassing how much I used to eat fast food.
Over the weekend,
Actually, it is embarrassing.
over the weekend, we were Labor Day weekend. It was going to be very busy. It was at Pokagon, Lake James,
I don't know where that is.
Steuben County, far northeastern Indiana, near Angola, Trine University area. Father-in-law said, "Hey, we're going to go to the lake." So that there's 4 of us in the car. We're going to go to the lake. We're not going to make breakfast in the campground. So I said, "Okay, we're going to try Wendy's breakfast." Wendy's breakfast has come back.
Oh yeah, I never had it.
Tried the Angola Wendy's. Pulled the door 8:15 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. They don't open the lobby till 9 a.m. I've got the boat trailer. So redneck me pulls my boat trailer through the Wendy's.
Who's eating breakfast after 9?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm sure that they would serve you anything. So redneck me pulls my boat trailer through the Wendy's drive-through.
Oh my God. Well, but if I trusted anybody to pull a boat through a drive-through, it would be you.
I'm very good with the trailer.
Your trailer pulling abilities are impeccable.
Backing up and pulling forward. It's very good. So I pulled the trailer through the Wendy's drive-through, and of course we had to pull around because they were out of sausage at 8:15 in the morning. City Councilman Mike Guffey is calling Chris Guffey over here a tightwad. By the way, if we're watching the chat,
All I'm saying is that is why I would have been a good city councilman. I'm a tightwad. I don't like spending money, Mike.
all right. So
You should learn that.
So I go to the Wendy's drive-through. They make me pull forward into the lane of shame, which, by the way, isn't built for a boat trailer. And I waited 10 minutes for my food to come out. I have to say, Wendy's should just give up on breakfast again. They're nowhere close to the top.
Whoa.
It's awful. It was not good.
Try the Newcastle Wendy's, bruh.
A poor review.
No, it's fantastic.
I got a croissant with a biscuit. Or it was a croissant with. It was not a flaky croissant. Not good. It was not good.
It's not worth it.
It was not good. Yeah, it was poor, and the croissant was cold.
Do you remember the Burger King breakfast? Their ham and cheese
Burger King
breakfast
croissants were fine. Yeah,
they were fantastic.
Yeah, this was an egg and some sort of a meat. I think it was.
If I
it was
went
sausage.
to Wendy's for breakfast, I would have to try the breakfast bacon everywhere.
That's what my father-in-law had, and that was the thing that was back ordered. They had to wait on something to be made, so it came significantly later, and it had a weird sauce on it, like a weird white sauce. I think it was a Swiss cheese sauce.
Aioli?
It was kind of aioli mayonnaise. Well, welcome to Breakfast Talk on Boss Hog of Liberty.
I'll be into that.
But it was the whole croissant texture was just wrong. So they can give up. I'm done with them. All right. So there was a very controversial Henry County Council meeting about 2 weeks ago.
It was about 2 weeks. Well, there was one before that, and
The original.
this was we've talked about Ken and Gray and his racist posts on Facebook. We've already. It's not alleged. They're there. Well, not anymore. He probably deleted it.
I can't see them. I'm blocked.
Yeah, I'm blocked too.
He kicked me off the friends list.
But
he won't add me back.
Then, whenever
He used to message me inspirational quotes and stuff, and now I don't get them anymore because he's got me blocked.
no
And I hadn't
inspiration-
talked to him in months.
There's no inspiration anymore.
I'm no longer inspired. Anyway,
So we talked about that
which I think is
And
wrong.
then-
Public officials aren't allowed to block you. That's
on their government
that's-
page.
Only
That's
if they use it as
an
an official
official
government
capacity.
page. Yes. Otherwise, if it's a private page, they're allowed to block you.
no. But
Talk
if they
to
use it for
Jared
government
Hall.
stuff-
He's opened many.
Yeah.
Cases.
I've been blocked. Anyway,
So we talked about that on the show, and then there was a multitude of people who went up and spoke and called him out at a public meeting about it, and we did a short little episode then. And whenever I watched the meeting, he gave a very emotional apology. He seemed genuine, heartfelt, even kind of choked up, and I almost...
That was his third apology, that one you're referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This was the real apology, not the one in the Courier Times. I thought that was a load. And then, but the one at the meeting, I thought, this is really genuine. He's listening.
Not the apology from the Planning Commission meeting, but the apology at the county council meeting.
County council meeting after all the people had got done addressing him.
Yeah, I
thought,
would have attended that showing of it.
Really genuine. He's learned.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I was there, and like the room, you felt in the room like holy crap, he's actually listening. This is good. And then after the meeting, several people that were staunch opposers walked up and, talked to him, shook hands, and walked away. And it seemed like it was a great end to the meeting, and it should have ended there. And
so we put out an episode after that. I put it together, and it was of Chris. Whenever Chris spoke during the meeting, Aaron Dickens, city councilman, and co-host Zach Burcham. And whenever I was putting that together, after I got done watching the meeting in its entirety, I almost made a statement at the end of the speeches saying, we don't have it on recording, but just so you know, Ken and Gray made a very heartfelt apology, and I'm glad that it ended the way that it did, and I'm glad that Kennan has humbled himself to his constituents. Almost made that statement.
Well, you didn't, so it doesn't count.
Well, I'm saying is I'm glad I didn't.
Right.
I'm very happy I did.
You're absolved of having that thought.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't.
So
it was fake.
So there was a PowerPoint presentation given at the most recent meeting, or an attempted PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint has made it out online, and there's a OneDrive link that I've had a number of people share. It was a bunch of screenshots and edits and comments, and
it's amazing.
I
was flabbergasted.
It was artful. I'm disappointed that he didn't give a chance to actually make the presentation.
That got sent to you and I.
Yeah.
That night, and we were like, I had no words. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I saw that, and then he had an outburst in the actual meeting where he banged on the table really loud, like he was a 19th century prosecutor,
or a petulant child,
and said, "I am not a racist," or similar to, "I'm not a crook."
Yeah, and he called the entire last meeting BS.
Yeah, he said that it was all a bunch of BS. He sat through 3 hours of BS, is what he said.
3 hours of BS.
And he said, I listened to, and he starts naming the people that came up and spoke against him.
So here's the thing. I don't know that I've seen all of this, and this is something we've talked about for 3 years on this show, is that we need to have brilliant high-definition video and audio and live streaming of all of these meetings, and they're not out there so that we can actually see what's going on. Because at this point, we hope and depend upon a handful of citizens to be doing a live stream off of a cell phone, and it's very difficult, and it doesn't work well. So I'm very hopeful that the county government can get that working in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But it needs to be it needs to be done.
I mean, we've been talking. Obviously, if you've been watching this show for as long as what we've been doing it, are good friends with quite a few people in county government and city government, and they assure us it's coming very soon, and that hopefully I don't think it was the next meeting, but the meeting after this coming.
I want to live,
which is tomorrow.
I want to live in a. I don't know that they're happening now.
It's not. Oh yeah.
I want to live in a world where we have an ability to go viral over wanting boneless chicken wings to not be considered boneless chicken wings. There was the video that I posted about a week ago.
That was good.
That was fantastic, which was the son of a council person. The son of a council person pleading to the body that his dad is on, saying that there's no such thing as a boneless chicken wing.
But Do you know the real difference between boneless wings and nuggets? It's like the difference between tenders and strips. A boneless wing is a chunk of chicken, and a nugget is ground chicken.
Right. It's processed. It's refined.
So, I mean, what are
processed.
you going to call it to make that distinction in the future if you don't call it a boneless wing?
Chicken tender.
Small tendies.
A tendy. A chicken tendy.
A quarter tendy.
If you watch the video, he explained a number of alternative names.
Once again, back to food talk. So, in this meeting,
We used to have meals served before
yeah.
these.
Yeah.
And it's been a while.
I want to go back to the meeting, and I want to go back to Kenan acting the way he did, because it was horrible. It was horrifying, and I sat there and watched it, and I was like, I can't believe that I almost stuck up for this guy after he made his apology. I couldn't believe it. And then right after I watched it, the PowerPoint gets sent to me in a text, and I start flipping through it. I'm like, goodness gracious. And then
It was like a manifesto. It was
insane.
It was out there.
It was pure insanity. Like if you were a person in a mental institution and you showed that, then they would be like, "That's another 3 years, buddy."
I watched the video and I said, "This is the best and the brightest we have to offer in Henry County." Obviously, that this guy beat me, and he's got the seat, and Henry County has to.
That's got to really chap you.
I don't care anymore. It's fine. I'm good.
But then, to make matters worse, I thought, well, the PowerPoint didn't actually get shown at the public meeting. And it was under circumstances of the fact that it had been, like, the first slide had been on the screen for the entirety of the meeting. And then all of a sudden it doesn't work. So I thought, maybe, just maybe, someone thought this isn't a great idea. So they didn't let the show go on. But then I start seeing, because I'm blocked, screenshots from Ken Gray's Facebook page where he's like, share.
Put it out
He's
there.
proud of this. He legitimately made it and thought, this will absolve me of all crimes.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And the people who don't know, it's been all over Facebook, so I'm sure that if you're politically involved in the county, then you know. But for those of you who don't live in this area, there were slides showing pictures of him and his wife at his son's wedding, and there's a black guy in the background, and he's like, look, I was in the same room. And it was like disgusting. It was really bad. I couldn't believe it. I wanted, whenever it got sent to me, I thought, I need to come up with something to say, and back to the person who sent it to me, something like witty, but there's no words.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You got me really hot now over there, producer Chris.
I feel like it's really loud.
Well, I know, but in the chat they are saying that they can barely hear. Volume is complete.
We are a podcast first, so if they're having trouble with the video side, I can guarantee that the audio will sound good in the podcast later after we run it through the mixer. So we may have issues on the video side, but we'll be much better on the podcast. So check out bosshogofliberty.com or check us out on iTunes, and we'll be there as well.
And Spotify.
All of the places podcasts are sold. So there have been rumored after this council meeting, apparently there were a couple of issues where council people were talking to each other. Maybe a note was passed here and there. And there's been talk of Chris Bilbrey, a former guest on the show.
Episode 104.
Filing a lawsuit. We checked. To our knowledge, there's not a lawsuit filed at this time against the county for anything. But there are some possibilities of complaints to open door laws. And once again, I think some of the issues that were going on in the meeting where members weren't able to hear each other. So
that was one issue.
If we get, there was an issue where Councilman Griffin was, I think Councilperson Mills whispered or told something in the ear of Councilman Griffin. And I honestly think that if they improve the AV equipment in the chambers, everybody's going to hear better. It
has to be improved, and there's a problem with. But see, the AV equipment has to be improved, but also we have to we have speakers in there right now, and there's a huge problem with members of the council and the commissioners that just not talking into their microphones, not using them at all. And then also the fact that there's not someone who has control over the board, so that at least like whenever we have a guest here, we have Chris. And Chris knows that if we have a guest that is sitting far away from their microphone,
right, you have to adjust it,
and they refuse to bring
I
it
would
up to
hope
them.
that what will happen is that as live video comes on board, there's going to have to be an AV attendant for public meetings that's handling the technology. Just as you have a secretary at a meeting,
right?
And you're going to have
Chris is in the chat right now. He's saying, and he said a public access complaint. And that's what we just talked to Chris about this, asking if there was lawsuits filed. Chris filed a public access complaint, which you can do based on open door law, which is the law that says that it's what keeps people whenever we're mobile, whenever we have the equipment to broadcast and do live streams other than just our phones. It's what protects members of the public making access to public meetings public.
Correct. Indiana has open door laws so that public meetings have to be accessible.
And whenever we would broadcast meetings, I had in a folder in the backpack, I had a copy of open door law.
In case you were concerned, if somebody was concerned with them. So we'll see what happens. It's obviously been
There was that, and then there was Peg Steffendell, who was a freshman county council person, who passed a note to county council president Susan Hoon, and it was apparently, I mean, I've not seen the note, but I guess that what I've heard is that the note said that she had to leave early.
Well, that's hearsay. I don't think we could admit that in court.
Yeah, I'm not in court. I'm just telling people what I heard.
Could be salacious. I don't know. Early departure times.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem with passing a note as a public official during a public meeting. She could have had anything written on that note.
Well, I mean, Jeopardy does start at 7:30, so you've got to be out on time. I don't know what was going on.
So that one, I totally agree with you. Totally trust Betsy. I've donated to her campaign. I think she's important as a member of the council. And I totally believe her whenever she said that she went up and talked to Harold about because he couldn't hear what they were about to vote on.
If there's a challenge made and that's the defense, that I would imagine that the county has a defense because of that would be a reasonable accommodation to deal with a potential hearing loss. I would guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
But an elected official passing notes to another elected official during a public meeting is unacceptable. We can't have that. That's
problematic. We'll see. Henry County government has had a really, really rough summer between the council issues and what's happening here, and then this week we had the passing of Commissioner Kim Cronk. We did. I know an obituary went up today. Still waiting on some additional details to come out on that. But very sad. Kim's been a guest on this show recently, and longtime public servant of Henry County. So been a really rough summer for county government.
And then just the amount of I've thought about this recently. If you're a member of the county council right now, and you're making the financial decisions for the county, and all of a sudden a pandemic happens and you're going to be millions short. That's a burden that I wouldn't want to have. And I think that I think that hopefully if people are watching and thinking about how important it is to think about the person you're electing for these county positions, such as the council, whenever issues like this arise. Hopefully, they put more thought into their votes. Hopefully, they realize this is why we don't need to vote in single-issue candidates. People whose their normal job on the council has nothing to do with the issue that I am concerned about.
This is the government that the people picked. This is what we got. you're pregnant with him. You got to have the baby. We're going. This is the council. This is your board. This is what you have, and these are the folks that you've decided are going to navigate the waters for the next between now and this next election. So we'll see what happens. All right. So you referenced it. There's still a pandemic going on. There's a story that was in Forbes magazine. I don't know if there's actually a printed version of
There's
Forbes.
Forbes also,
but if you go to Forbes.com.
NBC also reported this, so it's not just Forbes.
So, well, the one I shared with you originally was Forbes.
Yeah. If you are a Patreon member, you get access to the show notes ahead of time, and the article that we put in the show notes is the Forbes.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, I cannot believe you would step out. The Forbes magazine article says that every positive case of COVID has cost $46,000. That's kind of an outlandish number. I've had some friends that have had the COVID, and I said, "Pay up, mister. Mm-hmm. You owe me."
I know 5 people now.
That's like $250,000.
6 people.
Nearing $300,000.
And only one of them has been to the hospital because of it.
Yeah. So the numbers are out of control, crazy, unbelievable, and I feel like we're getting into cuckoo land on some of the on some of the ranges that we're trying to achieve. So if you look at the Forbes article that's in the Patreon group, it claimed through a study, Colorado University, yada yada yada, that there were 250,000 cases of COVID-19 tied to the South Dakota Sturgis motorcycle rally. They say that they linked cell phone data that's available to people that were at the rally and then the places that these individuals went to. They say, well, you had spikes in those communities, and this is what happened.
They also ran those numbers in an algorithm that runs the worst case scenario spread statistics for the disease. So basically what that means, what I'm taking that to mean, is the spread statistics of February, whenever we were all freaking out about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of coulds and extends and maybes, and we think and hoping to determine. And they're saying that the end, I feel like the study was written with the end in mind, and they backed their way into the numbers they wanted. Mm-hmm. But the money quote in the study is that because of the $46,000 number they put on it per case, and then they put the number of people that they think would be on it, you add those together, and they're saying that they could have paid the alleged 462,000 attendees at the rally $26,000 apiece to not attend, and that would have still come out a hit. That's the crazy number that we've got.
It's such a load of crap.
It's comical. It's comical to say that that's the reality.
That's just not true.
So that article landed yesterday, and then today, Reason Magazine says, no, that's total horse crap. It's bogus. It's junk. And they've tied 200 cases to Sturgis in their article.
Well, and it's also very important to point out with Forbes and the NBC, the article or the paper,
study.
Yeah, the paper that they are quoting was not written by any medical doctors or epidemiologists or anybody in the medical field. It was written by economists.
So it's the IZA Institute of Labor Economists, initiated by the Deutsche Post Foundation. Sounds German. Sounds very German.
How many pages is that paper? That you're looking at?
Are we going to read the whole thing? 63 pages. 63 pages. There's an appendix table or two, a narrative, some charts and graphs. It looks very official.
What Reason
I think it's
did,
entirely crap, but it does look very official.
What Reason did was reach out to actual
attendees,
medical personnel. No, epidemiologists that are actually tracking, or not just epidemiologists, but the actual, what are they called? The
contact tracers?
Yeah, the contact tracers. And said, hey, how many people do you have where you're doing the contact tracing back to the Sturgis motorcycle rally? And they said 206 cases. Far less than 250,000.
That would be like saying that every single case of COVID that's happened since that time was tied to that rally.
Well, they were saying that it was like almost a quarter
The ultimate super spreader event.
Almost a quarter of all cases that happened in August in the United States was because of the Sturgis rally.
So you can kind of see these little landmarks out in time where people are waiting for the story. The media is now wants to be able to say that COVID's going to spread because of Sturgis is coming up. The next blip on the radar was Labor Day weekend, right? There was something Memorial Day, Independence Day, and now Labor Day weekend was the next big one. So people were on edge and ready. And here locally in the state of Indiana, there's a big old reservoir called Lake Monroe. And there were a handful of college youth aged people that were partying on Lake Monroe. They rented some they rented some pontoon boats, fancy double-decker pontoon boats. Apparently 4 of them were rented. 3 of them were lashed together, and a number of 20-something people like you, Dakota.
Sounds like fun.
People like you were out in the sun drinking and partying. And in the article in the Indianapolis Star says that they were clad in bikinis. They were very scandalous. Troubling.
Risque.
They were not modest like they expect people of Bloomington to be.
We had another article that was in the show notes, and they interviewed a student at I think the University of Indianapolis somewhere.
Sure,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To
Don't ever let the truth get away with a good story.
She was like, "Hey, listen, there's like so many media stories that are coming out saying that college students are just being absolutely pushing this off into the wind and saying, COVID doesn't exist and we're still going to party and have our Greek life like normal." IU Bloomington is shutting down all of their Greek life housing right now because of the partying that is suspected to have happened. And she's like, that's not going on. She's like, yeah, we're still doing things like normal. We're just like making sure that the people who are weirdos and the people who, we didn't care if they came in before, we're making sure that everybody that comes in is taking this kind of seriously, and we know that they're not carrying it. And also, the amount of people at our parties is nowhere near the amount of people that I'm sitting next to in my lecture hall. So she's like, I don't. She was just basically making the point of I don't understand, and I know that Ball State had
chirp.
They had classes on Labor Day to try to curb the amount of partying that would happen normally on a 3-day weekend.
Purdue University announced that they're canceling spring break next year preventatively already. We're in, what the hell are we in? September.
Let us down.
So they're canceling spring break next year just so that people don't get away and you don't have the potential super spreader event. I really hope that we're not still going through this in March of next year, but they've canceled spring break. It's already done. But here's my thought as to what the deep issue is in this, Dakota, and you can tell me if I'm crazy. These universities are not just about students, right? They're research based. So you have multiple revenue streams, multiple ways that these schools make money. And a lot of the staff and the faculty that's there are based on grants. They're competitive grants that these schools have to get, and they can only function if they have the pandemic under control. So they can only do the revenue-producing activities if the pandemic isn't out of control crazy.
Right. Correct.
At this point, if you're looking at the revenue side of a school, every time the students come back, they're a threat to the other revenue side. So when the students come in and they're behaving the way students do, even if they're trying their best, you're not going to get complete compliance all the time because they're human. And they're 19 and 20 and 21 years old, and you tell them, hey, I need you now for a second semester. So if you started last year, your freshman year was screwed up. Now you're in your sophomore year. And by the way, spring break next year is going to get screwed up too. So half of your college career is already going to be clamped down. You're not going to control that for the entire amount of time. It's just not going to happen. So the schools, the more they clamp down, the more the students are rebelling. And the problem is that when the students rebel, you get these cases, and it's very predictable what's going to happen. The students are almost a threat to the livelihood of the university because they can't do the revenue producing stuff when the students are there. summertime, they can do their research, they can do whatever, they can bring their thing, they can function. But as soon as you bring back all the kids, all of a sudden that university life gets shut down and it's a total clampdown and nothing works.
So I want to know your opinion. This girl that
you didn't answer it. You didn't agree. You didn't disagree. You just left it.
I agreed. Okay. I think that everything. That's why.
But you have to verbalize it.
Okay,
it's a two-way street. So out of practice. You haven't been here in a month. We'll retrain you on podcasting too.
Listen, I was just keeping the conversation flowing. This girl that we had the interview with, who is on campus, she said she really didn't want campus to close and to shut down. And you're saying the administrators aren't going to let that happen.
I'm saying that that it's going to cost them a fortune if it closes.
Right. That's what I mean.
So if they have to shut the campus down, if they send the students away and tell them that they're distant learning and they still get to collect their money and make everybody work through Zoom, but they can still continue to do the revenue producing stuff in the school, then that limits the risk to the universities and they can still function. They can still move on. The other side is that
so why not
sports
just let them party until there's a break, the inevitable outbreak, and then they say you're all learning by Zoom, but now
and they send them all home.
Mm-hmm. And then it's a win-win situation. The students get to party for a couple of weeks
because we live in a world of cancel culture, and if the university officials, the administrators are complicit in that, then all of a sudden we've got a massive issue on our hands there too.
I'm sure that you
how dare that school?
All of the complaints of Mitch Daniels saying that for sure. This was back in March. He was like, "We're still opening in the fall,"
right?
And everyone's like, "How could you do that?"
But we've also seen mass suspensions. Students. We've seen mass suspensions for anybody that was doing any partying the first weekend or two. 25, 30 people at a time were getting tossed.
That's a good thing Mason doesn't go there anymore.
Yeah, he'd be in trouble. He'd be in trouble. I think the JUCO life is working out very nicely for him.
The what?
The junior college, the JUCO. Oh. I don't know. So Indiana Today said that the virus spread has slowed, it's steady, or it's retracted. They've introduced color-coded maps for every county. Henry County here is there's like 4 stages, and we're in stage 2. If 4 is the worst, 1 is the best. We're in stage 2. So not that bad. We're much better than we were. We had a massive spike in positivity because of the prison not too long ago, but things are trending up
because everyone I know got it.
Everybody's got it and done. Lockdown. It's over. You're set. It's all settled. Just to our north in Delaware County, they are one of the counties that is showing. I think they're a stage 3. They're a little higher, but it's Ball State.
But is it going to be? I mean, is it just going to come down to every county that has a high population density is in a far worse stage?
Potentially, and that may be the reality is that everybody finally chills out and calms down and slows down until it's over. Mask usage is also way up, right? We're all playing along, doing what we're supposed to do. I don't hear the mask police nearly as much as I have previously.
Florida, it was a mask everywhere, except for on the beach outside. If you were outside anywhere, you didn't have to wear it, but inside all the restaurants and bars and things, you did.
This weekend, I'll be traveling to Ohio.
And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the wait. Listen, after coronavirus, I wouldn't be upset if the waitresses still wore masks.
You just don't like looking at their faces?
No. I mean, because I was thinking about it while I was sitting by the pool, and I thought, I've probably eaten a lot less waitress spit.
Yeah, but your immune system is used to it. It's fine.
It's true. It's just a thought because now I've thought about it. And now everyone who listens to this has too.
I don't care. Whatever. Let it be. The weekend for me in Ohio, I'm attending my first sporting event, and they're allowing 6,000 people at the Mid-Ohio Sports Color course. Same number of people that they're letting to go to the NFL games in Ohio. But you have to wear a mask outside, inside, wherever you're at the whole time. I assume unless you're drinking. So I plan on having a beer in my hand the entire weekend. But we'll just have to see. I've pulled the data up for Dakota. on Indiana in this weekly scoring system.
And they're doing it weekly cases per 100,000 residents.
Yes.
We only have 50 here.
Well, there's a number of things that go into it. It's not just a couple of items that move the needle, but it also is tied to your 7-day positivity rate as well. So if you continue to have somewhat low positivity, that's also a part of it.
It says 1.5 for us weekly.
That's our score. So they add things together. So if you're in yellow, so that means that we've had between, I would assume to land in that color, they had between 10 and 99 new cases in Henry County, and they've had 5 to 9.9% 7-day positivity in this community to land in the
Look at Hancock
in the second
County,
category.
Hancock County being 0.5.
Hancock County has very, very, very few cases per 100,000 people. So they're low. Rush County to our south is low. We're basically the same as Indianapolis. Marion County is actually a 1.0 and we're a 1.5. Delaware to our north is a 2.5, and they are the highest in the state of Indiana on the scale. So if you look at the numbers, Delaware County to our north is actually the most at risk. So we'll see. We'll see how it's all going to shake out. Producer Chris, are you banging stuff over there? What's going on?
No, we have some new neighbors.
You're causing a disturbance.
There is a disturbance in the force, yes. But it is not Producer Guffey. It is the neighbors that we have acquired that live upstairs now.
Do you think they're angry with us?
Do you
think they're disagreeing with what we're saying?
I believe so. They're invited. If you're up there listening, you're invited to come on down. Let's talk about it.
It is a pandemic. Shouldn't we temperature screen them or something before we just let them in the room?
Have no fear. I shall do that.
All right. Well, I think we're about to that part of the show where we can start to wrap things up. Move into final thoughts. Producer Chris, what you got going over there? It's NFL week. Are you going to be cheering for your Washington football team?
Listen, there's multiple things that I've got today. First off, I really like to say if anybody here is looking for a realtor, I am very happy with John Kindred and his father, Doug.
How many houses have you guys bought together now?
We bought none, but we found a house that we really liked, and we wanted to put an offer in last Thursday, I believe. Or maybe it was Tuesday. Yeah. Anyways.
John is a Boss Hog alum.
Yes, he is. He is a sponsor. And anyways, we were looking over it. We loved the house. We went to talk to John about it to put an offer in. And John's like, hey, look, did a little more research on this. They're listing it as they have 0.49 acres. You really only have 0.07 acres. They're counting the other 0.42 acres as the county easement that they've used as their land for 20 years.
So a big fan of that one.
Yeah.
How many houses have you made those guys walk through with you? Are you guys up to like 50 houses now?
No, Paige and I have dug through 9 houses. 9 houses right now.
Does he have
That's a lot of houses.
Does
dude.
he have to hand sanitize everything, every doorknob you touch? Does he have to?
Nope.
Does he have to deal with it?
No, there was only one house, and it was a house that we looked at in Anderson that required us to put on shoe coverings to walk around the house.
Booties.
The booties.
That's not just a COVID thing. It's
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were living there.
Maybe it was the white carpet.
And that was a fabulous house. I just wish the bedrooms were a little bit bigger. Anyways, so
very
yes.
picky.
Yeah, I
Off camera.
as I've
Off camera.
as I've talked to you, you would pretty much be happy living in Dakota's shed. So I don't know why you're so picky over there.
Listen.
Okay, it's not a shed. It's a little bit big for his.
Go to the Patreon and we'll find out.
Listen, we are very positive on what house we want.
It sounds like you just need to have one built.
Listen, we have thought about that, but just building a new house is not in the budget right now. But
You don't need to look at like TK Homes and things. Just talk to our friend Rex Bell.
He's like 3 years out.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll need the next house by then. So what else is on your hit list? Thanks to the boys over at John Kindred, Doug Kindred.
Yes, the Kindred
FC
boys.
Tucker.
I appreciate them very much. Also, Monday night we had a fantasy draft. All I can say is I am shocked that 3 quarterbacks went in the first round.
I got Patrick Mahomes.
It's true. You drafted right after me. Mason drafted right in front of me, and he picked Lamar Jackson. I got the Derrick Henry down there in Tennessee, and you got the Patty Mahomes, and then your father-in-law Kevin Deshaun Watson down there in the Houston Texans.
Well, he's a former Houstonian.
So that was a great time at the fantasy draft. Wish some of you could have been there, but sorry, Chase does not like any of you. You were
Commissioner Chase Payton is in charge of that. So
correct.
He's
correct. If you have complaints, go to him.
Talk to Commissioner Chase. He's on the sports desk.
So yes, and then I don't think there's anything else really that I have, man. That's it.
You didn't say anything about your Washington football team.
I know.
Are you excited? Is Alex Smith back? Are you going to play him?
No, Alex. I don't know. Dwayne Haskins has won the role of the starting quarterback for us for the week 1. Let's see. We've got the rookie Antonio Gibson, who's a running back, who's just everything I'm hearing from the training camps. He's balling out. Yeah, really impressed by him. We got rid of AP, Adrian Peterson, for you guys.
He went to Christie's Giants.
Lions. The Lions.
Christie's Lions, yes.
Yes, he went to Detroit. Good move for him. They've got a rookie up there who's pretty solid. They've got also he's a little bit older in the run game, but he's not as productive as Adrian Peterson will be.
The Washington football team pick up anybody?
I don't believe so. They got Terry McLaughlin.
Have they still got?
Are you still a fan?
I will always be a fan of the Washington football team. As you know, whether we suck or we go to the Super Bowl, we can go 0-16. I'm still loyal.
When is the last time they won?
What's your mascot this year?
A giant W. One giant W. Burgundy and gold W.
Are you
for the wins?
You going to get a tattoo?
No. If anything, I would get a tattoo of the old emblem.
Does it bother you that Washington doesn't even play in Washington, but all they are is a big W?
No, they play in Maryland. Which reminds me, I sent a message to a ticket rep because I was like, yes, I'm gonna see about going to a home game. I made the trip out there last year. I'm ready to go again.
Oh, how wealthy are you now? Last year you bought a StubHub ticket for $5. Now you're going directly to the team reps?
Yeah, I was like,
when did you make money?
I couldn't find it on Ticketmaster. There was no home games on Ticketmaster, so I sent a message, Jerry Walden, we do not like the Bears in this city. We do not like them. Anyways, so yeah, I went to the ticket rep and I was like, hey, I'm looking for a single game ticket. He goes, for when? I was like, I don't know, any home game that you got. He's like, what season? I was like, the 2020 season. He goes, yeah, we're not having home games. No fans allowed at the home games. I'm like, that explains why I didn't see him on Ticketmaster. So,
got to be a real quiet day in the ticket office.
I don't know what the ticket reps are doing. And it's weird because they're like, oh, it'd be
answering messages and telling people that they can't buy tickets.
Yeah.
Telling people you're shit out of luck.
Well, it was like, oh, you're first in queue, you'll be 2 minutes. And it was like 10 minutes before they answered me.
You need to just go ahead and go to the Detroit or the Cleveland game. Find tickets to that.
I don't believe
you want to see your team.
The Detroit game is not listed for sale yet. Cleveland, I can buy tickets to, and I can also buy tickets to the Dallas game. So
Dallas is a little far.
I'll go to Dallas with you.
Will you go to a football game with me?
Yeah, I like football games.
Hey, look. Hey, bachelor party. We're going to Dallas.
I'm serious. I'm 100% serious.
We can look at flights. They're really cheap right now.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
When is it? When is the game?
I don't know.
We'll talk about this off the air.
Off the air.
Make plans.
You people are crazy. All right, so your team's gonna start like 0-6, and then it'll be cheap again, just like last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm gonna call it now. We'll go 3-13.
Do you have replacement players? Is this just, you don't have Jay Gruden anymore? He's gone.
No,
you've got Riverboat Ron.
Yep, Ron Rivera. I'm excited. I mean, we got rid of Josh Norman as well, who was a lot of penalties for us the last few years. He's very heavy-handed, and so he draws a lot of flags for us. But we'll see how the defense goes.
All right. That's NFL Talk with producer Chris. Dakota, what's on your mind?
Well, I just spent a week in Florida, and there's sometimes you get tired of Indiana, and you take a trip, and then you realize that 111 degrees heat index sucks. So you go, Indiana's really not that bad. And you come home, and the beans are starting to look a little golden in places. Then the sun sets, and because we have a bunch of crop dust and pollen in the air, they're like beautiful red.
You get an
orange.
Big old sunset. Newcastle, Wyoming this morning, not Newcastle, Indiana. 27 degrees.
I know. I have a friend that lives in Colorado and was sending pictures of the view outside of their bedroom window this morning. And she had a tree that was just like a pine tree, and it was just covered in snow.
Yeah.
And she said, it's still summer right now.
I hope these people winterize their pools. Labor Day was Monday, and here we are, and it's below freezing.
It's ridiculous.
Awful.
I love where I live, but, I'm still down to go to Texas and stuff. Chris, Dallas.
Yes, let's do it. I'm down. Let me look at it right now.
And then also, Audrey's Cups. Tumblers, I have to promote them again. You can really get a Boss Hog tumbler.
There needs to be a store.
They're amazing.
A price, I need a prototype. I need to see the prototype.
Go to her page. She did a wood grain with a Crown Royal.
I'm not a wood grain guy.
I bet you would
I like the silver.
It's pretty cool. Oh, you just want the regular tumbler?
I want, yeah.
Well, then that's easy. It'd probably be less than $35.
I want to see what it looks like. I want to.
I mean, I'm not getting one.
I want
She's
an
already
idea.
making 2 cups for me.
Yeah.
And,
I know there's multiple sizes.
Yeah.
There's options. Are they dishwasher safe?
No. Well, it just depends on the cup you get. If you have epoxy on the outside, you can't put it in the dishwasher because the epoxy is heat sensitive.
This sounds like a crisis.
Yeah,
I can't not put it in the dishwasher.
She has like a little, there's a little card that comes with it that says care instructions.
Oh, sure. Of course, she has a card that absolves her of any problem. I'm just asking about what happens.
Puts it in the thing, and it tells you it's not dishwasher safe.
Listen, Kyle Hopwood was in the chat earlier. He gave me some mugs, and they look like they're dying. They are peeling off, and the company he works for, that they're not healthy mugs. I'm just afraid of doing the same thing.
Did Kyle put them in the dishwasher?
I put them in the dishwasher. I want
problem.
a mug that's not going to get ruined in the dishwasher.
You can't just rinse it out after you use it?
No, I have got to disinfect it. We're in a pandemic.
Oh, jeez.
This is important.
Look, $207, November 26th. We can fly out of here on the 25th. We'll fly back on the 27th.
December?
November.
Wait, what date did you say?
It's the 26th. It's a Thanksgiving game.
It's the Thanksgiving Day game.
Yep.
Would you like to spend Thanksgiving in Dallas, not with your family?
You don't need them, family. You have plenty of other time.
The weekend after my anniversary.
Perfect. You've already spent time with them on the anniversary.
Yeah.
You just spent 3 weeks with them. You can't give up one Thanksgiving to go to a football game with Guffey?
Honestly, yeah. I'd really like to. I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't have to take the vacation days. Maybe you have to take Wednesday off.
Who's going to smoke the ham?
Your father.
He's got an electric smoker.
Have you guys ever had the stones to Guffey? This doesn't count for you because you don't do this sort of thing with your family. But Dakota, have you ever had the stones to ditch your family on Thanksgiving?
No.
I've done it twice.
Actually,
I sure have.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the weird thing is that
you wouldn't now.
I'm the person that's all about family and my family. Mm-hmm. My parents, we've gone to I think
your parents would probably go to a Chinese restaurant and say, "Who the hell are these people?"
Legitimately, one year on Thanksgiving, we went to El Chile Poblano.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's just how they are.
Yeah,
but see, last year on Thanksgiving, I was like, I want Audrey's family at our house. I want my family.
You wanted full
house.
Clark Griswold.
I went all out, and everyone's like,
Yeah. Can I get the T-shirt next time? Come back.
It's like, okay.
Well, I will.
You know what? Next year, I'm going to Dallas with Chris.
Well, since I'm in the
I approve.
Since I'm in the Davis family, I'll come over to your Thanksgiving. It'll be great. Oh heck! So buy one of Audrey's mugs. We'll see if we get a Boss Hog one worked out of it. I made a bet on Sunday, Dakota. Biggest win in the history of my FanDuel sports betting life. $2 bet on Kevin Harvick.
I made $8.
He was a lap down. I made $114.
What?
Yeah.
Off a $2?
Off a $2 bet. He was plus 5,500.
Man, I bet you wish you put $20 down.
So here's the thing. It was glitchy as hell, and I was out in the distance. So I when the it was a little pit cycle thing going on, and he was long odds just for like a half of a second, and then they closed down. You couldn't bet anymore. So I was so happy to get that bet in, and that was like maybe 20% of the race was complete, maybe 30%. It's coming down to the end of the race, and Chase Elliott and Martin Truex are fighting for the win, and my boy Harvick is in third. And I told Kevin, there's 10 laps to go. I said, they've got to crash each other for me to win this race, for me to win this bet. I was so close, and yet I was going to lose it. I thought this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then 10 laps to go in the race, Martin Truex, who had been leading most of the event, did a slide job on Chase Elliott, wasn't fully past him, swings out to the wall, and they both hit the wall, both get flat tires, and Kevin drives on by.
That's awesome.
And I won $114.
I can't believe that.
It was the greatest thing in the history of sports betting.
I don't even want to think about how you were reacting.
Oh, it was after quiet hours in the campground, and I was making a scene. It was great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sarah and Christy were 2 campers over, and they heard me.
That's ridiculous.
It was the greatest thing ever. So I'm excited. NFL football starts on Thursday. Got the two IndyCar races this weekend. Colts play the Jaguars on Sunday in Florida, and we'll see what happens from there.
Don't forget, we have the Red Zone now.
And thanks to the YouTube TV, Chris and myself and our joint home, we got the Red Zone channel. So we're gonna have a great weekend. We will see you all a week from tomorrow, Thursday night next week, back here on Boss Hog, episode 176 coming your way.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at wearelibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to wearelibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.